Hi, my name is Vivian and welcome. Today we're going to talk about why I think Samwise Gamgee from the Lord of the Rings Trilogy, the movie, why he's a flat character. Sam knows the truth, and with a flat character, the character knows the truth, exposes the lie of the world, and saves the world. A flat character doesn't go through a journey of self-discovery because they already know who they are. Is the world that's broken and the world that needs saving. What is the lie of Middle Earth? So in my opinion, I believe the lie of Middle Earth is that in order to defeat evil, you need power and brute force. In the first movie, the character Boromir says that his father, the Steward of Gondor, has used the blood of his people to keep the evil forces of Mordor at bay. The thing about the rulers of Middle Earth is that they have all the power, the army, the resources. Despite however many wars they have fought, evil still remains. And in their hearts, they lust for power. And the ring knows this and uses this to seduce them and corrupt them. What is the truth that Samwise believes in? In my opinion, it's the power of friendship, loyalty, and a pure heart, all the things that represent good, is what will defeat evil. And there is still good in this world, and it's worth fighting for. The Shire represents this good. Sam and Frodo have something to fight for, and it is their home, the Shire. Throughout the movie, Sam reminds Frodo of this. What horrible things will happen to Sam and his world if the lie isn't overthrown? If the lie isn't overthrown, the proud and powerful leaders will continue to get their hearts corrupted by the ring. Eventually, Sauron will become reunited with the ring and darkness will rule all over Middle Earth. And there goes the Shire. Poof. The normal world of Samwise Gamgee. The Shire is a place that reaffirms Sam's truth. The Shire is a good, beautiful, and peaceful place. The hobbits are known for their peaceful nature, and they typically don't like to be involved in drama. In the first film, in the first opening scenes, Frodo tells Gandalf that he has been deemed the disturber of the peace. Sam's characteristic moments that shows how the truth lives through Sam. Loyalty. When Gandalf first tells Frodo about the ring and everything that's going down, Sam is eavesdropping. I took this as Sam just making sure that everything is okay with Frodo. And it just shows that even before the start of the film, that Sam always is looking out for Frodo. Despite his size, Sam shows great courage. He's always standing in front of Frodo ready to fight, or he's always the first one to come to Frodo's defense. He's also a man of his word. Gandalf says, "Look out for Frodo, don't you leave him," and Sam keeps that promise. Sam and Frodo had the perfect team. They had Legolas, who was skilled with an arrow. They had Gimli, who was skilled with an axe. They had Aragorn and Boromir, who were both skilled fighters. And they had Gandalf, a wizard. But the Fellowship still managed to have broken up. Boromir was easily drawn to the ring. And if he gotten hold of the ring, he would have gotten corrupted easily. So despite their manpower, despite their skills, despite their abilities, the ring would have corrupted each and every one of them one by one. After the catastrophic end of the first film, Sam now sees what the ring is capable of. And now he has to make a decision. He can be like, forget this, I am going back home to the Shire where I can continue living in my truth. Or he can decide to stay and finish this fight. But with a flat character, there needs to be an incentive for them to stay and continue on this journey, because they don't need to change. They already know the truth. It's not about them. It's about the world. This is where we get into the character's goal. Flat character's goal has to be something that they care about so much that is at stake. What is Sam's goal? I think Sam has two goals. His first goal is to protect Frodo and keep his promise to be there for him. His second goal is to save the Shire, his home. Sam has no choice but to continue to engage with the lie and continue on this dangerous journey to save Middle-earth. Gollum represents what happens when evil and corruption takes hold. Sam doesn't trust Gollum, not even for a second, but they do need a guide to go to Mordor. Sam sees that his friend Frodo, although he is good and he has great endurance against the ring's power, the ring's power is slowly but surely corrupting Frodo. Sam has to be very sharp. Not only does he now look at Gollum to make sure that he keeps his promise, but he also has to look out for Frodo, make sure that he's on the right path. Sam and Frodo bump into Faramir, who is the brother of Boromir. Faramir is seduced by the ring and he believes that the ring is going to help bring Gondor to victory against the orcs, because at that moment, the orcs are attacking Gondor. Sam gets irritated and tells Faramir that, hey, you know why your brother died? Because the ring drove him crazy. Sam sees what the ring is doing to his friend. Sam sees the evil around him and the war that is going on. Strong men of power fighting evil, but evil seems to be winning. It's easy to give up belief in the truth and just throw in the towel and just be like, hey, the world is going up in smoke, oh well. But here is where we get to the midpoint. The midpoint is where a revelation occurs, is right in the middle of the story. Something happens that provides the character with new information, which gives them clarity over the problem that they're trying to resolve. Here is Sam's midpoint revelation. Sam understands what the antagonistic force is really capable of, the Ring of Power, and how it can poison and corrupt the hearts and minds of powerful people. Sam sees how much the people in power are fighting with everything they've got, all the resources that they've got, but they are losing. When there is so much darkness, pain, and defeat, it is easy to just throw in the towel. And this is where Sam offers the truth to the world. And he tells Frodo, there is good in this world, and it is worth fighting for, Mr. Frodo. At the start of the third movie, Sam again reminds Frodo of what he's fighting for. Sam urges Frodo to eat, and he tells Frodo that he has rationed the food and it should be enough. And Frodo is like, enough for what? And Sam says, the journey home. And Frodo realizes, oh, there is a journey back home. Now we're at the third plot point here. And at the third plot point with a flat character arc, we need to hit the character where it hurts. Something devastating has to happen to your character that shakes their belief in the truth to the core. The character must face death, either literally or figuratively, but it has to feel like they're dying. And then the character also needs to come to terms with their fears. What is Sam's fear? I believe Sam's fear is that he's afraid to lose Frodo. So the scene I believe that is the third plot point is where they make their way up the stairs to enter Mordor. And Gollum takes this opportunity to execute his plan. He knows that Sam is onto him and is always watching him. So Gollum decides to turn Frodo against Sam. First, he plans that Sam is trying to take the ring from Frodo into Frodo's mind. Then when they're asleep, he gets rid of their food and puts crumbs on Sam. Frodo gets upset with Sam and tells him to leave, that he doesn't need him anymore on this journey. This crushes Sam. Sam is devastated. It feels like death itself. If Frodo is telling him that he doesn't need him anymore, now Sam is going to doubt his belief in the truth. For one, his friend, who is the ring bearer, is slowly becoming corrupted by the ring. And number two, Gollum, an evil creature who only cares about the ring, has caused his friend to turn against him. The truth that Sam has been using to try and accomplish this goal of destroying the ring doesn't seem to be working, and it just seems like Gollum is winning here. Sam makes his way down the stairs and he sees the food that has been tossed down the mountainside. And at this point, this is where I think Sam's belief in the truth becomes reaffirmed, because he now knows that he's been right all along. He's been right about the ring. He's been right about Gollum. He's been right about everything. So now it's like, oh my God, I can't go back to the Shire. I have to save Frodo from himself and from Gollum, because now him, Frodo, and the world is in more danger. And lo and behold, Gollum has left Frodo to be eaten by a she-spider, and Sam saves Frodo from the she-spider. Now for the climax. Right before the ring is destroyed, Sam asks Frodo if he remembers the Shire. Around this time, it is spring, and he goes into the description of the Shire and whatnot. Sam is using this moment to add some feel to Frodo and to remind Frodo of what he is fighting for. Sam then carries Frodo up Mount Doom. The ring finally gets destroyed, and the truth that Sam has been holding on to throughout the series has finally prevailed. Now for the resolution. Middle Earth is now at peace, and the fourth age, the age of man, has now begun. The resolution showcases the change that has occurred in all the characters. In this case, especially Frodo. Sam hasn't had any major changes. He has remained the same, but he has changed in subtle ways. He's more confident. He approached Rosie. I mean, when your life has flashed before your eyes too many times for you to count, a potential no from a crush won't kill you. With a flat character, give them what they desire. I mean, they saved the world, so they deserve it. For Sam, he gets married to the love of his life. He gets to live in the peaceful, beautiful Shire for the rest of his days, and he has kids. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more videos from me about writing tips in books. Go ahead and click on the link in the description for free character worksheets. And go ahead and watch the next video here. I'll talk to you soon. Bye!